Hey relatives, how you doing today? It's noon here in the Pacific Northwest. Welcome to the Native Wellness Wednesday. Yeah, today you got me, Gene Tagaban, as Theta is off out being Theta out there in the world, so she wasn't available today. And so I thought I'd come on down here and take you outside. It's raining right now, and I don't know if you could hear the raindrops, but it's pretty nice, pretty chill right now. Check it out over here by the water. So I was told my wife today that I was going to do the Wellness Wednesdays, and she says, "Well, what are you going to talk about?" And I said, "Well, I don't know." And she was talking about glimmers, stress, triggers, and oftentimes I run by things by my wife because she knows stuff. Man, listen to that. Your partners know stuff. So I don't know. Just wanted to title this, in this environment of triggers, controversy, and stress, we've got to look for those glimmers out there. Those glimmers. How do we take care of ourselves? How do we settle the mind? There's so many things that are going on internally, Like each and every one of you right now, as you're watching this, you're thinking to yourself, and those thoughts come in the form of voices, pictures in your mind, or maybe even feelings. And what are those? What are those things that trigger you in this world? Because we're in this season right now, man. It's November's coming up. People are just wonder what the heck they're going to do for this Halloween season. The elections are coming up. That's huge stress on people. And then we got the holidays that are coming up. And oftentimes the holidays are real triggers for many people. They've lost loved ones. They've don't have family to be around, or maybe they don't even like their family, which is a thing nowadays, right? And so so what are we going to do? How do we take care of ourselves? Recently, I'm a bike rider, but I haven't been riding my bike. My wife asked me the other day, she saw that I was just a little bit on edge, a little irritated with things. And so she asked me the questions, "Are you ever going to ride your bike again?" I said, "Yeah, I am." And she knows, she's an ally for me to help me out, remind me of things, that help settle my nervous system, my mind, my heart, my spirit, right? Yeah. And so, we're going to go for a bike ride later on, even if it's raining out. You wear the right gear and everything, and even if it's not, you get a little wet. Yeah. And so what are those things that trigger you? I follow a guy. His name's Dr. Gabor Mate. I like to call him Uncle Gabor. And he oftentimes talks about triggers. And those triggers are actually opportunities to take a look at yourself, opportunities to heal, opportunities to learn about yourself. And I share this story oftentimes. I like to ski and, get up there on the mountain. And there's been many times when I'm skiing across the face of a mountain. As I'm skiing across that face of that mountain, I'll trigger an avalanche. And I'm standing at the top of all that snow that's just raging down the mountain, taking a look at it. Now, it's not the trigger of the avalanche that's going to take me out. All that snow that's going down, that's energy. All that snow that's going down, that's our thoughts. All that snow that's going down, that's just stuff that has happened that's in the past or hasn't even happened, and we just make stuff up, right? But it's not the trigger that's going to take you out. It's all that snow, all that energy, all the things we make up, all the energy we put around it. That's what's going to take you out. That's what's going to take you out. You know, take an opportunity just to take a deep breath. Hold it. And then release. Yeah. Yeah. You know, and there's oftentimes too triggers. I talked about this yesterday too, on an online workshop. How many of you like, Costco nowadays? You know, we're always at Costco, it seems like, and the lines at Costco are atrocious sometimes. And we can stand in that line and we can like just freak out and just get all mad and upset and work ourselves up because why did we pick this line? You know, my wife and I, we always pick the wrong line. We always pick the longest line. We should have picked that one over there, man. Look at them. They're not even, come on, we could fill those thoughts with our mind, or we could actually use that as an opportunity to do a little mindful work, just to stand there. I mean, you're in the line. You're going to be there anyways. So a practice that I do is and sometimes I'll be in the line and my wife will be, what are you thinking? And I'll just take a deep breath in. And in my mind, I'll say still, hold it, and I'll release ness. And that's just a reminder for myself in this chaotic world that we're in the store, driving down traffic, wherever, that everything's still moving so fast in our minds when we get into that state. It's moving really fast. A trauma mind is a frantic mind. A trauma mind is a frantic mind. That mind that's always moving, that mind that's always working, always just has to be active. And to practice that mindfulness. And so when I'm standing in line at Costco, oftentimes I'll practice that mindfulness. Yeah, I'm not perfect. Sometimes I'll be complaining. Sometimes in my stuff, sometimes I work myself up. But oftentimes too, I'll just in my mind, I'll just say still. Ness and release. And with your breath, just with breathing, helps you settle your system. And this is your system, your whole system. Your mind, your body, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual being, who you are. Yeah. Because we've all gone through trauma. We've all gone through those things. And it's life will trigger you. Life will trigger you. Yeah, wherever you're at. So how are we going to manage that? Won't be able to manage it all the time because we all get pissed off, right? We all get upset. But how are you going to not stay in it? I mean, that's what happens when you stay in it. Another quote from Dr. Gabor Mate, when he talks about trauma, it says, trauma is not what happens to you, it happens what's inside of you as a result of what happens to you. So you have an experience, but when we keep playing it over and over and over and over again, internally, that's the trauma. That's the trauma. That's the hurt, the harm, the pain, the wounds that we keep carrying and coming up. And when you're a wounded soul, when you have a cut, an open cut, and it's healing, and you just touch it, it hurts. Yeah. But even when it gets covered up with scar tissue, right? Yeah. You can touch it, but still it's covered up in it. It's almost stiff. It's almost stiff with that scar tissue. It's even with our emotions sometimes, right? Yeah. And so I'm out here. I just want to come out here. I came out here out there in the woods, a little bit on this trail. Not really the woods, I would consider, but it's a park, on this trail and getting outside. One of my favorite places to be, next to the water. Yeah. And my wife, I got upset, and my wife, I just went out of the house. I needed some time off, and my wife, she said, "Where'd you go?" And she automatically said, "Did you go to the water?" And I said, "Yeah." Because being next to the water is one of my favorite places to be. How about you? What are some of your favorite places to be at that help calm your system? And it's raining out. I grew up in Southeast Alaska. And so we had all those. I grew up in the rain. Yeah, and so triggers, controversy, stress. You know, and let me talk about stress a little bit. One of the major factors in illnesses and diseases, especially with women, is the level of stress. You know, women are they're caretakers of the families, caretakers of the community. Women are the caretakers of the children. They feed, they cook, they do all these things. And not only that, but women will take on the stress of the household. Oftentimes the women in the household or the community are like that canary in the mines. They take it on. Ladies, women, they, them. Find ways to calm your system. Find ways to de-stress yourself, even if it's just taking a moment, or just in your mind stay still. Yes. Now the men out there in our communities, we've got to step up. We've got to step up. We've got to be part of the community. We've got to be part of the family. We've got to be part of the solution. You know, one of the things too, I work a lot with men and the wellness of men and the healing of men, engagement of men. In the healing movement is because what really got me is when I heard that the greatest threat to the safety and health of women in the world are men. The greatest threat to the safety and health of women in the world are men. And that really hurt me. You know, and again, where do I hold my wounds, my pains, my hurts? I automatically put my hand right here in my stomach area, my solar plexus area. Some men. How can we be part of the solution? How can we be part of the community? How can we be part of the household? How can we be part of raising the children? How can we be part of stopping this jacked up attitude of when you see little kids not doing really well and then you call them, you're playing like girls, you're playing like, you run like girls, you feel like girls. What are we teaching our kids about girls? Uplifting our girls, honoring and seeing our women as sacred beings, the sacredness of who they are. I mean, one of the belief systems of the indigenous peoples here is also, I mean, we refer to this earth as Mother Earth, you know, our mother, a woman, a woman. You know, and so that's, you know, the stresses out there. You know, and again, we're in this season of the end of the season. School started too, and you know, there's a lot of stress out there. How are we going to calm the system? Calm the system. You know, and the controversies. Everyone has their belief systems, right? You know, one of the things I work with and I like to teach is that how do we introduce ourselves? You know, this is a term that Ruby, my wife, introduced to me, is, you know, implicit bias. And, you know, I just got to note that I'm kind of glitchy. Maybe I should stand in one place here so I'm not moving around. I'll stand right here. And so there's implicit bias. When you walk into the room, who walks into the room with you? Who walks into the room with you? When you walk into a space, when you walk into the house. So indigenous belief systems that our ancestors walk into the house with us, walk into, you know, they follow us into the room. But I just want to say, our ancestors, but we have some just jacked up ancestors, some ancestors that were hurt, harmed, wounded. You know, they passed on with their traumas too. And the more work we do, we're doing ancestral healing, but that's a whole nother talk, right? So who also walks into the room are your love, your compassion, your empathy. Joy walks into the room with you. Your accomplishments, your goals walk into the room with you. But not only who else walks into the room with you is your hurts, your harms, your pains, your traumas, your wounds, your anger, your frustration, all that stuff, walks into the room with you. I don't know how many times I've worked with people and I've asked them the question, "Hey, are you okay?" And they say it like this, "Yeah, I'm fine." I just can't help but to say, "Yeah, okay, if you're fine, why don't you tell your face that too?" And my wife says the same thing about me. I'll say the same thing. I'll do the same thing. I'll say I'm fine, I'm okay, and stuff like that. And I know after she hears this, because she's probably on here, she's going to say, "Well, why don't you tell your face that?" Right? So those things also walk with us into the room. But not only that, my gender, I identify as he, him, walks with me into the room. My skin color, length of my hair, the grayness of my hair now, my age, all those things, those factors, those are all these implicit bias that we have, and with those belief systems and value systems walk with us into the room. Core value systems, whatever they are, walk with us into the room. And in this world of controversy, man, I'm just going to tell you what. We make choices, we make decisions based off our value systems, based off our belief systems. And not only that, one of the basic human needs is attachment to a group, family, whatever it may be. And so, and we make those decisions based off those attachments, want to be attached, be part of something, plus, our belief systems and value systems. And if your belief systems aren't working for you, aren't serving you anymore, that's something to really take a look at. And maybe you need to adjust your value systems as well. I mean, there was a huge belief system that I grew up with, that men don't cry, right? Yeah, and that was struck down pretty early. Because so many of our men, too, we just, we hang on to that stuff. Yeah. But I have a belief system now that it's okay to express our emotions and learn about our emotions. So many times, I'm trying to be emotionally intelligent. Learn more about my emotions, what they are. But oftentimes I have controversy over those things. It's just even internal controversy. And so in this time that I'm here with you, just, again, wanted to title this Triggers, Controversy, and Stress. Look for the glimmers. And what are those glimmers, man? And they're all around us. And the thing is, we've got to search for them oftentimes, because if our wounds are so big and our traumas are so big, have you ever heard this here term, energy flows where our attention goes? If our energy is flowing towards the negativity, those wounds, those hurts, those harms, those pains, those traumas, our energy is going to go there if that's where our mind is. So and I'm just going to say this, in this world, there's a lot of negative stuff out there. Just, you don't have to search for it. Just turn on the TV, turn on social media, turn on the news, open up a magazine. It's all around you. Just walk down the street, you see it around. So sometimes in this world of controversy, stress, triggers, we've got to train ourselves to look for the glimmers. Look for the glimmers. And what are those glimmers? Right now I'm listening to the music of the birds. And it brings joy to my soul, my heart, my spirit. That's a glimmer. I'm listening to the sound of the waves right now. I love that. That's a glimmer. Puts a smile on my face. Just not too long ago, there were sea lions in the water. Those are glimmers. This morning when I woke up, I was still laying in bed, and my dog, she came up to me, and she poked me on the side of the face. Just poked me. And then she stood there and looked at me, and I just kind of like, oh, come on, had the grumpy look on my face. And then she poked me again. And I knew she wanted out. But that brought a smile to my face, that glimmer, that she just, that communication that she has with me. And then when I saw their tails wagging, when I see dogs' tails, especially my dog's tails wagging, those are glimmers. When I see a child laughing, those are glimmers. This morning I heard the hummingbirds, those are glimmers. Glimmers are all around you. We have those things that we will feel gratitude for. Yeah, take a look at that. What do you feel grateful for? What are you thankful for? Yeah, those are those things too. But those glimmers are those things that you just walk your everyday life and they put a smile on your face. They put a smile on your face. Yeah. When I see other people helping others, opening a door for others, puts a smile on my face. Those are glimmers. So in this world of all this controversy and stress and stuff, what are those glimmers? And just take time, just take a moment just to step outside. Or even if you're at the desk, push your desk away, take a deep breath. In your mind, say stillness. And even those pictures around you, if you look at your work area, and you don't have pictures or images or little statues or whatever, trinkets that bring a smile to your face, bring a memory, triggers a good memory, triggers a good thought, that's really something to take a look at and think about.